Woohoo! 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 Welcome to Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institutes. Coming to you from Great Falls, Montana. I'm in an airport with some Napiyakis and some Napikoan, and so I can't yell too loud because if Indians yell loud, they all get scared and they run. Hey! So welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I just had a beautiful drive down from Browning, Montana, and it was so icy and no visibility. But I was determined to come here, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday, because we're always positive, productive, and proactive. And look at my shirt that I got on, my Kamala shirt. It says Madam President. So I wanted to share some healing thoughts with you, and the topic is why we should spend time with family in December. And since it's now December 2nd, and I know most of you, really did your best, and I hope that everything had family time, and during Thanksgiving and during that holiday. I was in Canada the whole time, so I didn't have any turkey. I didn't have any pumpkin pie with whipped cream, which is what I usually had. It's so rough this morning. I even lost an earring because I was putting, I have my big old blizzard coat on. I have my mucks on. I switched to my hokas, but I was just saying I feel so good because I didn't overeat. And so my topic today, and just to think about your own healing, but why we should spend time with family in December 2025. I'm heading to be with my Native Wellness Institute family, where Jalene's picking me up in Portland later today, or for the next 3 days, we're going to do adults working with youth. And then there's going to be a youth training. So Casey Nicholson, Shailene are doing that, and Jolene and I. And then Lavina, and possibly Thosh, and Jean Tagabon, and Jolene, and our new board member, which will be announced pretty soon. We have a new board member. Jolene said she would be putting up a picture on the Facebook page, and so I'm just gonna. We're so elated because we're bringing in elder wisdom, and she brings with her 4 decades. She's written like 3 books. She's been head of a reservation housing. She's been on tribal council. She really lives wellness, and so she'll be our new board member, but I'm not going to reveal that. I'll let Jolene do that. So welcome to Wellness Wednesday, and I'm speaking softly because this is where I am. And then look at the art. It's got like Indians, scraping hides, and I'm surrounded by people that are hobbyists. They come and hunt 1 week in Montana, and then they go back to their fabulous lives. We would call them hunter tourists. Anyway, so let's talk about family. And I think family can be blood family, and I'm not related to anyone except my sister Lori that works for Native Wellness Institute. And I think I might be related to Casey Nicholson. Don't tell Casey that, though. Because his biological father is Blackfeet, eh? And I think we're related, so that's why me and Casey look alike, eh? Anyway, there's my laugh. It'll scare him off, eh? So, family. There's blood family. That's your siblings, that's your marriages, that's your grandparents, that's your parents, that's your grandchildren. That's your um, tribe, your DNA, your tribe. So there's that family. And I think, right now, I'm just gonna say this. If any member of your blood family is over 50 years old, you better spend time with them in December. And why is that? Because they still have a clear memory. They're probably still mobile. You can just sit and listen to and ask questions. Ask questions about when you were born. Ask questions when you were a child. Ask questions when they came to your Christmas play. Ask questions of how your parents met. Ask questions about why you moved to so many places, or ask questions about the house that you lived in when you were born. Ask questions about the school that you went to. If you went to Head Start, because it didn't always exist. Remember, I was born in the 1900s. We didn't have Head Start or kindergarten. We just went into the first grade. So ask questions. And ask questions of relationships. How grandma and grandpa met. How did they get together? Where did they live? How many kids did they have? Did they lose any children? Ask questions. So welcome to Wellness Wednesday, when today's topic is how do we spend time with family in all of December 2025. The other family is, and it might be, we have a tribal college. There's 38 tribal colleges in America. We also have Red Crow College up at Kainai. We have Old Sun College up at Sixikai. Those tribal colleges are doing really well. We just got really good news. I have good news to share with you. You remember Mrs. Amazon? Her name is Mackenzie Scott. And Mackenzie Scott, the story of when she broke up with her husband, and Amazon is Amazon because you're ordering from them. When they divorced and separated, she has taken most of her billions and billions and billions of dollars, and she's invested it in growing communities. So Mackenzie just gave Blackfeet Community College $8 million. It was just announced a couple of days ago. And so the Blackfeet Community College will be using it for the students. They'll be using it for staff, and they have an endowment. They're just going to grow. And so that she really sees as nation building, as Joe McKay would call it, nation building, is investing in education and paying for education. So woohoo! Woohoo! So we can celebrate that. As I was coming down, I was thinking of all my 65 first cousins. Okay, so there's another set of family. Your 65 first cousins. And so then your 100 second cousins, and your thousands and thousands of third, fourth, and fifth cousins. That's family. But I'm going to really start like with the 8th graders, start talking to them about where they're going to go to college, starting at BCC, and then how do they transfer to a university, because that's how you raise your people out of poverty, is have everyone go to college. That was, my parents, they got a GED later on in life, but in their generation, in the 30s and 40s, no one got a college education. They didn't even get a high school education. But with, let's see, equity comes with education. So that, so Mackenzie Scott, you know what Mom said, and I'm gonna talk to Brad Hall. He's our current president. He's been doing a really good job for 3 years at Blackfeet Community College, and she thought that we should bring Mackenzie here, and that we should honor her. And I totally agree with that. I mean, like, what a great idea. Please bring her to the Blackfoot Confederacy, Tribal Council. We'll talk to them. We should bring her to the reservation and just have her be honored, and make her a bologna sandwich, eh? Make her a bologna sandwich. Put some potato chips in it. Hey, give her. We still can get red wieners. Maybe we'll send Mackenzie Scott back to wherever she lives with a case of red wieners. Hey. Anyway, just sharing some good news. Okay, so why else should it be we spend time with family? And you know, and I want to give a shout out to Native Dads Network. I want to give a shout out to the American Indian Cancer Foundation. I want to give a shout out to NAFA, the Native American Fatherhood and Fathers Association. I want to give a shout out to White Bison, because that's also family. You know, the 5 of our organizations have made a pledge to not compete with each other, but to coordinate. Woohoo! The white people are leaving. They're all walking away because I... Woohoo! Yoo-hoo! I knew if I spoke a little bit... This is okay. That's how you get your land back. Hey, to start making around with your pistol. Hey, just... Anyhow, being with family during December of 2025, and think about, you know, that kinship. I was just thinking, you know, Blackfeet Community College. I was thinking there's 7 tribal colleges in big land-based tribes in Montana, and so we're gonna be. I think Fort Peck got $11 million from Mackenzie Scott. So that's a game changer, because that will our colleges won't have to worry about, you know, loss of funding. Our colleges won't have to worry about Trump doing anything else to us. So woohoo! Now I got the space that can talk a little bit louder, and I don't mean to scoot all these white people out, but go back to where you came from. Hey, go back to where you came from. Give us back our land. Go and get the hell out of here. Anyway, just coming to you live from the Great Falls Airport. So this spending time with family. You know, last night I'll just, you know, I always talk about my mom. My mom was, and you know, my mom's 87. And yeah, I'm her oldest child, but she still worries. She still worries about when I'm traveling. She still worries if I'm okay. She even cooked me breakfast this morning. She made me 4 hard-boiled eggs and got me on. I mean, it was just like, moms do that. They still take care of their children. But I spent time with her yesterday, and it was just incredible. The entire day, I came in. I had stopped at Ming's in Cardston. My mom likes war wonton with all the vegetables, and I brought war wonton, and she just picked up gifts from the post office, and someone had sent her favorite is fruitcake. Yeah, so you know, she Medford, Oregon, they sent her fruitcake. So here we were, and we had our war wonton, and we were sitting at the table, and we started talking about Mike Swims Under, because I was asking questions about Atokan Beaver Iron Pipe, and he was best friends with Mike Swims Under. They grew up as children. They were always together, and Mom said that, you know, and she'd say, yeah, they always used to say Beaver may have had a romantic relationship with Mike Swims Under's mother, but then she would say, I don't think so. I just think that they were friends. So there you go. You know, there's a difference when it's not romantic, when you just are friends. And because she said they spent a lot of time together. And this is, you know, this is a 1910, 1920, 1930. There was no social media, and but they spent a lot of time together. And so she was telling me stories about a Tokan when, you know, later on in life. And Beaver they called him that because when he was born as a baby, when his foot came out, it was webbed. It looked like a beaver, like he was shape-shifting in utero. And so that's why he's called we called him Beaver. You know, I was raised by him, raised around him, and he used to babysit us and take care of us and stuff. So this story that I'm going to share with you, and this is why we need to pay attention to our family in December, is she said that he was kind of a little bit crippled up, but he would always, when the weather got really bad, and she told me several stories of when the weather was really bad, and he walked with a cane, but he'd have this giant backpack on his back, and he'd be coming down Hart Butte and coming down into the area where Grandpa Sam and Grandma Agnes lived. They used to call that a Pistatoki. Anyway, it was it's on Big Badger, and he'd be coming down, and he would stay with them all winter, and then come May he would go back to his own place. You know, he and you know, the mom was telling me that, you know, he had a bundle. And I was saying, well, Mom, what kind of bundle? Was there a drum with it? So she was telling me those stories. And as, you know, my mom was talking, I was sitting there. And this is what you have to acknowledge when you're with your family. You never know when the last time you're going to see them. So listen to their stories. And so I was just, my mom was talking, and in my mind I was telepathically saying, Ishtabatapi, please let my mom have a long, healthy life. Let her have a clear head. Let her be mobile. And as she was talking, and let me please open my ears, you know, open my ears and listen to her and hear these stories. Oh, and I just, my heart, you know, it's like my hand to my heart. I could tell it was that moment. We spent the whole day together, and in the evening, and then, you know, Mom she's got her big bedroom, and she lives up by the hospital. They call it New Eagle Shields. And so I just slept in the same bed with my mom. And the reason, you know, astral traveling, because I think we went to bed. We listened to Joe McKay, who we greatly respected. Mom was, when she was on tribal council, she gave 120 of our Blackfeet members the deed to their houses, and Joe's was one. But he was giving a message last night about how we all need to become involved in nation building, and how we need to stand up, and we need to be with our people. It was a good message, but I'm mentioning it but he also talked about when he was with a good friend up on Divide and up on Chief Mountain, and when he was in some fasting places, and spirits came to them. They could hear an encampment. They could hear the drumming. They could hear the children playing. They could hear the spirits were visiting him. And I mentioned that because, you know, Mom and I just sat there, and we're watching on my iPhone, sitting next to each other, just all cozy. I was just like, my mom used to always tell me stories. And now, you know, so we were just like cozy and listening to Joe McKay. And he said next week is, you know, the anniversary, and that's why we need to spend time together. When he lost his son, and he said he just couldn't, and, you know, saying that as a man, that he was just not going to go do his weekly live. And he said, and then it's the holidays, you know, so he's probably just signing off for a while. But that moment when he could come online, and that's why I encourage you, you know, if your relatives don't live near you, call them up, get on a Zoom with them, communicate with them. It's that time in December where we communicate with each other. Just do it, and I tell you, you'll never regret that you made good time with your family. You'll never regret it. So like, I just wanted to share with you, it was just so awesome this morning, because we went to bed like after it was cold, like, you know, 13 Fahrenheit, and we went to bed, and we talked, and we might have talked for a long time. She's always reading a book, but we just talked with the lights out, so I was just I asked her questions, you know, about Beaver, about Grandma Agnes. Ask questions, and then so we talked, and I finally said, Mom, let's go to sleep. so and we slept. We slept. I swear I set the alarm for 7 a.m. because I knew I had to buzz up down to Great Falls. But I slept till like 6:15, and I tried to get up quiet. And here I just heard Mom get up, and she ran to her journal. And she's always got her journal on the kitchen table. She ran to her journal, and she was just writing. And I knew she was writing her dream, because she's taught us always to keep a journal, and as soon as we wake up, to write that dream down. And so Mom was just writing away. So then I thought, I'd lit a smudge. I said, I lit a smudge, Mom. And I was just saying prayers, and I was opening the curtains, and then she started telling me what she dreamt, and it was so good. She said, me and Aunt Carol, her younger sister, she's gone to the spirit world, the Sandhills, in 2012. But we were driving Mom in this vehicle, and we got in the vehicle, and it was like old snub-nosed truck, where the engine is underneath the seat. Grandpa Cooper had like old trucks like that. And I was driving, and we were gonna go somewhere. And so Mom had, she said that somehow the door to the house had fell out. And so me and Aunt Carol were looking at her, and we were laughing because Mom went back up there and she rigged it somehow, where she tied it to a stake so it couldn't fall down anymore. And that was connected to an earlier story the night before, when she was telling me how she took fish out of Big Badger, Grandpa Cooper. And these are the stories. That's why you need to spend time. Grandpa Cooper had taught her giant fish out of Big Badger, and they would gut them, and then they would sometimes put willows in them, and then they'd put them in a gunny sack and put it back into Big Badger, the big roaring glacier river. And then they would tie a string and stake it to the side so you could always pull it in, and it's like the grocery store. So that dream, as she was telling me the dream, she was just elated. She was laughing, and I was just going, keep going, Mom. Keep telling me. And that's why we need to spend family time in December of 2025. And she said Aunt Carol we were both laughing at her because she was staking that door, and the way she was doing it, we were just like, I could just see me and Aunt Carol, because Aunt Carol laughed, we laughed, they all laugh. Uncle Gerald, they all, life was to be enjoyed. It's your birthright to thrive and to live joy. And I swear that's who raised me. So I think I'm not always, yes I am most of the time. Like, I choose to be happy. I choose to see the good. I choose to laugh at myself, even when I make quote unquote mistakes. I choose that because I'm in recovery, because my spirit is strong right now. And you can choose in December, choose to be in a good way with your family in 2025. Lateral kindness, lateral forgiveness. Choose to be with your family in ceremony. Choose to dance with them at the powwow. There's in Browning tomorrow, there's a social dance at BCC, and I saw Sheridan Ground was inviting everybody. It's a social dance, and they're gonna feed just for a couple hours, dance, two-step, line dance a little. They're just gonna enjoy, dance and sing during December 2025. Just do it. Anyway, that's kind of welcome to Wellness Wednesday. We come to you every week, and I'm going to be boarding the plane here, so I came on a little bit earlier. And I'm glad, even those, you have to tell stories where you cry, where there's tears, and I was just like, I woke up and I just spent time with my mom. And, Lori will be coming back. She's doing some stuff with the American Indian Cancer Foundation. And Lori is going to take Mom to the Native Classics, where all the 11 tribes of Montana will be at CM Russell, and it'll be res basketball. Woo! Res, I mean, res basketball. That's heaven. And then you get to see everyone from Rocky Boy, get to see everyone from Fort Peck. Even there might be some Upsalaga Crows, Northern Cheyenne, Salish Kootenai, Ani from Belknap. They'll all be there, and it's all young people. And that energy, that's why we have to spend time, that energy to thrive and to live and to compete. And the halftime shows are going to be so good. All of the tribes in Montana are just going to be together. That's where you need to be. Native Classics. And so anyway, I booked a room, Crystal Inn, of course, and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so Mom and Lori can just enjoy and go out to eat. Take your family out to eat. Have some good Chinese food. Have a steak. Ooh, have a ribeye steak. And, you know, I was just telling Mom, I said, shoot, Mom, when I get back, you know, we got Dave Kennedy, my nephew, got us 2 elk. You know, and I usually try to give him half the meat, but he said he'd just take half an elk. So we got an elk and a half that's being processed into steaks. Ooh, steaks and hamburger and ribs, and so all our freezers are going to be eating elk. Ooh, I just love elk fat. Ooh, man, elk. And then anyway, Indians and meat, you know, and Blackfoot they always real food is meat, and that all that other food is not real food. Eh? So I just wanted to come to you, and this, you know, where I'm gonna go get on the plane here, and Jalene's picking me up, and we're just doing some really good stuff this week with Native Wellness Institute. You know, you can come join us if you want. We're in Portland. You know, it's a training. You can still sign up, or if you're gonna drive there, you know, we start tomorrow, the 4th and the 5th and the 6th, and we have 2 trainings going on at Barbie's Village, which is what we always do in December. And so you're welcome to come. And so when we sign off, I'll just tell you the other reason we need to be with family. I just returned from Edmonton, Alberta, with the debut across Canada of Meadowlarks, the true story of the 60s scoop. And I have to tell you, in that audience, you know, over half the audience was scooped individuals who were scooped during the 60s and raised in non-native homes. I ran into this one beautiful, it was a full-blood Mohawk guy, and he was raised in the Netherlands. And there was all these, and their grandmas, you know, and grandpas, but they weren't raised with their family. They were stolen as children. They were stolen as toddlers. And then they were put in non-native homes. That's what the 60 scoop is about. It's stolen native children, stolen indigenous. But the good part about it was they were thrivers. You know, they were artists, they were singers. We honored one elder, gave him a blanket. There was just celebration, and I swear it was, they had asked me to be an emotional support, which is what I do for NWI. Oh my gosh. All I did was hug people. All I did was hug them hard and hug them long and whisper in their ear, tell me your story. And then tell me their story, and I'd hug them again. And I'd say, tell me more. And I'd hug them again, and I'd hug them harder, and I'd hug them longer, and I would listen. That's all you have to do with your relatives, is listen to their story and tell your story. And that's what we need to do to heal. That's what we need to do to connect. That's what we need to do to bond. That's all you got to do, is listen. Go to ceremonies, tell them your story, listen to their stories. And you know, if you get it, Metalarks is coming to the U.S. and next year. I think Seattle first. But please do see it because it's a tool for healing. It's a tool for healing. Films can be a tool, just like Sugarcane. You know, to go see a film. Eat. Talk about what you saw. That's how, spend time with family. Cook together. Eat together. Sing together. Pray together. And so we always, you know, we always bring a message. And I'm the rest of the month that we have our horn powwow. It's on the 27th. If you want to come to Browning, Montana, at Standoff on the 25th, the multi-purpose building, they're having their horn powwow. I'm not sure when Sixikai has theirs. They might have theirs in between, like the 26th. So you can just be going to horn powwows. Go and dance, go and sit, go and hug, go and love. Just do all of that. And I just encourage you. These are my encouraging words. Be spontaneous. Dress up. Put some glitter on. Eh? That's what we dressed up everyone in Edmonton. And we put some unicorn snot, which is glitter on the skin and the hair. Woo! We were just hugging and healing, hugging and healing. So I think with that, you know, I'm going to sign off. They're going to say boarding pretty soon, so I better get my badass auntie ass over there and got my ticket. And so that's all we're going to do for this Wednesday. I'll see you next Wednesday. I'll be back in Montana. Anyway, I'll do a power hour in a blizzard. Eh? I have my mucks on. Eh? Anyway, we Kitsikako Mim, we love you. Welcome to Native Wellness Institute. This is this Wellness Wednesday with a message of to spend time with your family in 2025. Just spend time. That'll be the gift. You don't have to buy gifts. You don't have to go in debt. Just spend time with your family and listen to their story. And tell your story. And laugh together. Anyway, with that, we'll say Kitaki Te Matsano, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Love you.